Have you ever wondered what makes some brands just magnetic? So magnetic that their followers don't really feel like customers, but more like they're part of a real movement? Well, today we're going to dig into the framework from Jody Rainsford's book, How to Start a Cult, and figure out the secrets to creating that incredible feeling of true belonging.
Right out of the gate, the book hits you with this super bold claim. The old way of doing things, winning customers with loyalty programs or slightly better prices, is completely over. It's an idea that really makes you rethink decades of marketing.
So, if the old playbook is totally broken, what's the new one? How do you build a brand that people don't just buy from, but that they truly believe in? Let's get into it.
Here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about why brand loyalty is a thing of the past. Then, we'll explore what replaces it, belonging. From there, we'll get into the foundation, the actual tactics for creating devotion. And finally, a 30-day plan you can use to make it happen. Okay, so first things first. Why is the old way broken? Well, traditional loyalty is built on really rational stuff like price or convenience. But think about it. Those connections are super fragile. The moment a competitor offers a better deal, your loyal customer is gone. The thing is, in a world that is just so full of noise, appealing only to someone's logical brain isn't going to cut it. Brands that do this are basically playing a game they're set up to lose. It's just an exhausting race to the bottom to be the cheapest or the fastest. So what's the answer? The book argues that we need to stop chasing this flimsy idea of loyalty and instead build something way deeper, something more resilient, a genuine sense of belonging. And this is where it gets really interesting. Loyalty is purely transactional. Belonging, on the other hand, is emotional. It completely shifts the relationship from "what can you do for me?" to "who are we together?" When a brand becomes part of who you are, your competitors don't just lose, they become totally irrelevant. So what exactly is belonging? It's that feeling of being seen, of being understood. It's being part of a tribe that gets you and shares your values. That's a fundamental human need, and when a brand can deliver on that, it creates a bond that no discount ever could. Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do you actually build it? It's not some kind of magic trick. It's pure strategy, and it all starts with a rock-solid foundation, the why behind your entire movement.
The whole framework rests on three foundational pillars: your message, your enemy, and your difference. Let's break each of those down.
First, you need a message that forces people to make a choice. It can't be for everybody. Second, you have to unite your followers by picking a common enemy or a shared frustration. And third, you have to lean into what makes you different, because being different is just so much more magnetic than being slightly better. Now let's be really clear here. The enemy is not about attacking a specific competitor. That's so important. It's about finding a frustration that your tribe can rally against. It creates that us versus them feeling, but them is an idea or an old broken system. Netflix is the absolute perfect example of this. They never ran ads saying Blockbuster is terrible. Nope, they focused on a pain point everyone could relate to: those dreaded late fees. By making themselves the solution to that shared frustration, they instantly won over a tribe of devoted followers. So once you've laid that foundation, your message, enemy, and difference, how do you actually start building that devotion? This is where we get into the tactics, the real, actionable how. These 4 tactics are basically the engine of your brand. First, you bang the drum. You tell your story over and over again. Second, you find the misfits. You focus on the people everyone else is ignoring. Third, you build rituals to create shared experiences. And finally, you create opportunities for people to get actively involved. This is such a key insight. Instead of chasing the big, crowded mainstream market, look for the outliers. Look for the people who feel a little bit ignored. They are absolutely hungry for a place to belong, and once they find it, their passion will turn them into your best ambassadors. Rituals are what make belonging feel tangible and real. It could be something as simple as a unique welcome email, an inside joke, limited edition merch, or a shared hashtag. These small things are actually powerful signals that say to the world and to each other, "Hey, I'm part of this." Okay, theory is awesome, but how do you actually get started? Well, the book lays out a really practical 30-day plan to turn all these ideas into action right now.
Here it is. It's a clear, week-by-week sprint. Week 1 is all about strategy, nailing down your message and your enemy. Week 2 is when you go public. Start repeating that message and create your very first ritual. Week 3 is about personally inviting your first true followers. And week 4? That's when you empower those new fans to bring in the next wave.
And we have to address the elephant in the room, that word, cult. The book is really clear that this framework is not about manipulation. It's about using the fundamental power of human connection to build positive communities where people feel like they truly belong.
Look, building a brand like this takes guts. It means you have to be willing to be polarizing, to really stand for something, and maybe even ignore what everyone else is doing. But the reward isn't just a business that survives, it's a passionate community that no competitor could ever touch. So the real question isn't just if you're ready, it's who are you willing to repel in order to attract your true believers?